Good afternoon. Dun, 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 dun. Good afternoon, good evening, good night, as they say. Oh, we got Dawn, David, Scott, and Rob. Welcome to the show. We have Microsoft Meta earnings, Apple, Amazon earnings, and the FOMC meeting coming up tomorrow. I'll probably do a channel member live stream like I've done in the past for channel members on FOMC. If that sounds like something you want to do, you can come join. Probably be just a few minutes before 2 o'clock tomorrow. I don't think I have anything else on the calendar. Probably should double check just to make sure I don't have a conflict. I don't think there is, but never know. Looks like, yeah, I should be wide open for that at 2 o'clock. Alrighty. I don't know why they keep scheduling me webinars at 3:30. I cannot do that on Wednesday. Anyway, beats me. All right, moving on. So we had Mara earnings just hit, and so far it was a good pop. But before we get into any of that, all trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Past performance not necessarily indicative of future results. This presentation intended to be informational, educational, fun, entertaining, not a recommendation to be buying or selling any financial instrument, including stocks, options, bonds, forex, futures, cryptos, treasuries. You might lose money doing this thing we do called trading. Be careful out there. Nobody's watching out for you but you. Number one, right? If you're not watching out for you, nobody else is. That's lifelong. So if you desire somebody to tell you what to do financially, hire and consult a financial advisor, but it's still up to you to make your own good decisions. So, checking it out here, Mara earnings. They beat by like $2 and something. At least that was the pop-up I got on my phone. And up a little bit. Not a lot of it, just a little bit. Bitcoin's still down, so yeah, up there. Let's see if the roadmap line bounce held. Close. There's the high. Here's the low. If we bounce, next upside move. It's not magic. Just the price pattern. Looks like 22, 23 will be the upside target. Push on through. Resistance right there. Get through that. Target right up here. Bingo, bango. I'd like to see it. How about you? I'd like to see it. How about you? I put myself back in the right way. That way I don't block out the in the news or whatever. Sticking over here. Alrighty. Just notice I do cut margins off the screen. Anyway. I'll take 24. I'll take 50. That'd be 50 gets me out of a lot of problems. Might say. Not really problems, but like 50 makes everything pretty nice. 100 makes everything really nice. But 50, so we just need to go from 20 or 17 to 50. Just need to do that in like 2 months. We'll be all happy, right? Everything will be great. I'm not saying it's gonna. I'm just, hey, it'd be nice. All right, checking out the red list here. But looks like that's going for the roadmap line hit. Quite honestly, Riot, yeah, holding up pretty well. Looks like, yeah, just holding that high. When you look at the bigger picture, though, that's pretty rough. That high, that low, and we're in this like descending drift lower thing here. A little bit of a drift lower. That's not great. We need to break out and go higher on Riot if it's gonna go. Major resistance right there at the 618. Clean Spar, CLSK. Also kind of looking like a downtrend of highs cooking here. Not great. Need to break through that to go higher. And looking at the earnings this week, this thing keeps getting big. So after the close today, we have Visa, Marathon, Starbucks, Booking, Cheesecake Factory. Coming up tomorrow, Meta, Microsoft, and then Apple, Amazon on Thursday. And of course, right in the middle here, FOMC meeting. And I mean, it's like, I guess a 98% chance that they're not going to do jack squat, but let's look at WM. Oh, look at that. Nice little bounce. There's the high. Here's the low. Coming on up. Looks like we're going to get that 244, 247 area. Looks pretty good. SoFi was big. Nice pop today, but giving it back quite a bit. Visa. Oh, heading on down to the roadmap line again. Spucks. Yeah, baby, go. We can get above this junk here up to about 99.50. Basically 100. Get it back above 100. Things are looking pretty good. Might be able to go on up to my 130 target. Not bad. STX. Yeah, down a bit. Probably going to come back to the roadmap line on that one. BKNG. Probably going to come back to the roadmap line. Cake. Popping a little bit. Going up for the... Might be able to maintain the breakout here. If we can get up to 86, that'd be pretty positive for... Fix that. There we go. Yeah, 85, yeah. We can go on up there. Like, what I don't want to see is it reject this. So I want to see this keep on going right up there. Maybe come back test and go even higher. Otherwise, we might be in for a drop back down in this area in the 20s, which would not be great. Would not be great. But zooming out big picture, thing hasn't gone anywhere in several years. I mean, that's 2017. That's 2021. That's 2025. So 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. That's 8 years. Haven't gone jag diddly nowhere. Taking a few trips down. That's not a trend to me. I don't like to get involved in that. All right. Other stuff for the morning, VRT. See what we got cooking here. We might pop out. It has the setup to go to 181, but it also could retrace. Like there's no guarantee in a short time frame that we're going on out. You know, from this point where we triggered the setup to the top can take, I mean, 99% of the time we'll do it in less than 155 bars. So roughly by Christmas, we should be up to the target or fail. There you go. Doesn't mean we won't pull back and then ramp up. Still got lots of time on that one. MO, probably working on this correction here before we pop again. Bigger picture, long-term upside, Tiva. I'm just kind of hitting the earnings this week. And big gap down resistance. KHC. Look at that. rejected off of the roadmap line. Watch for a retrace. 618, hold and turn higher would be positive if we get through it. Further downside. That's the long and the short of that one. GNRC coming up. That looks like it could retrace to the roadmap line pretty easily. And Humana. Yeah, not great. ETSY. Healthcare just not performing well this year. That doesn't mean it will, not turn around next year, but this year, probably not the best trade to be involved in. Etsy looks a little, yeah, that got really close. Looks like that move might be played. And since we're already dropping back below, we might come back to the roadmap line for another test. We can go again. And let's see. Hershey, this one. This thing took a beating. Look at that. I thought we might bottom here. We went all the way down here. That's why I don't knife catch. Like, I don't try to actually... Oh, man, we got so close to that being an absolutely beautiful correction. It's probably close enough. A, B, C. That may be the bottom. First move up. Reject off of that weekly. Retrace. Hold a higher low. Coming back up through. Can we break through? Come back test. That would be the ideal kind of situation here. That low, we got this high, we got that low. Somewhere in anywhere from 206 all the way up to 250. Like if we stop in this zone right here, a little more bearish inclined. If we can get up to this zone, bullish incline. So 250 would be a better target for being bullish on Hershey. Now, that was back in 2023. This was here in 2025. This little move here, very fast time frame wise. So this could take a while to play out here. The weekly chart. All right. Hog. Harley Davidson. Yeah, that looks bad. And probably not going to turn that around. Meta, I would caution. This looks like it wants to come back to the roadmap line. If we see a kapow here, and then something on Microsoft retracing back to the roadmap line, and I mean, things could get pretty sour here, sour grapes. Hood could retrace the roadmap line. It's funny, it's all hitting the same place. Apple, and rejecting the roadmap line here. Not looking too good. We break down below this uptrend of lows, and that's not great. I talked about a trade on Apple this morning. If you missed it, go watch the video from this morning. Posted what I actually did in Discord. This one, lower high, can lead to this big deep retrace. Could be in, all of these look like an A, B, C. Well, all of these, except for Microsoft, which already has that A, B, C in place, right down to that corrective reversal zone, like I was talking about just a minute ago on Hershey's. Except we did it this way. First move down, retrace. Second move down, absolutely beautiful correction. And then we turned back into trend. Trend was up coming into this. This was a correction, took a while. That was back in July of last year. This was in April of this year. Almost took a full year. And then this thing goes popping off. That's the power that could be in Hershey's if it can keep going. But Yeah, this one didn't even stop. This one didn't even blink. It just ripped. Hershey's could do that too, but I don't see like big hype in Hershey, but you know, it could do that. All right. Check a few others here. APLD. And that looks like it might come back to the roadmap line. Carvana. Also looks like it might come back to the roadmap line. LRCX. LRCX. So I don't like the fact that it's stalling right at this gap. That could lead to a trip back down here before we turn and pop back up through. It has set up the potential to go higher, but stalling out at that gap, we usually get a negative reaction before we push on through. QCOM has been just grinding and grinding and grinding. And cool. The browser took a dump. Awesome. Boom, 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 boom. Now I gotta reload everything. Awesome. Absolutely awesome. What the heck is going on? The devil. What did you do? All right, QCOM. Let's go back to a daily chart, not a 2-minute chart. And we're just grinding. Grinding in the zone. Tried to break down. Got right to the line in the sand and came right back up to the grind zone. It's like a stock account grinder right here. We can break up, go higher. If we get back below, like this is like another, we could make a higher low here. If we get a lower low, that's probably going to get continuation down under 100. So I'm not super bullish on QCOM. It has a nice bullish potential, but until it breaks out, still has high risk. Ford also coming in probably with a retrace to the roadmap line. ARM. Lower high, lower high. It's lower low. Be careful here if you're chasing ARM. While it could break out and go up to 210, it also could very well go make a lower low than the IPO low. I don't think we're done on the bottom yet. It may not be this year, but I bet we go make a low lower than this low at some point over here. The next could be 6 months, could be 2 years. I just bet it happens. I don't have any money on it, but I bet it happens. All right, other stuff. ABBV. Yeah, we're just kind of chopping around here. Stuck on the roadmap line. I have no big earnings bets this week. I'm just not feeling very confident with the FOMC meeting coming up this week. RBLX. That just keeps rocking and rolling. And probably going to get a pullback at some point because that just seems like it's way up there. This first move down, retrace, next move down, potential that this pops right down here. And then we could go up like this. First move up, retrace, next move up. Let's throw a couple more fibs to it. And we could find, yeah, right down in here. Next potential move up. That stupid thing. I put that in the wrong spot. There we go. Yeah, that's almost perfect there. Look at that. That 1272 and that. Those are almost exactly right on the same spot. So 53 support. That low, this high, this low potential. If we could bounce there. Nice fat upside 88. Be nice. So we got a little bit of downside potential and a nice fat upside potential on CVS. So it may get a negative reaction on earnings. Let's see, CCJ. This one's been hyped up. Looks like we're pricing for perfection here. 89.30 resistance. This may get a pullback. They misstep at all. Cigna. That's looking like we're going lower. MasterCard. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Looks like we're down on sympathy with Visa. Let's see, Capital One. Obviously doing a different path. And that tagged right up to the 1272. I'll be hornswoggled. And let's see. Cloudflare. And it might get 212 on that one. Coinbase. I'd be careful. This is riding with Bitcoin. Probably gonna retest this breakout. Talked about that for a few days now. Gonna be a couple weeks now almost since we tagged that. It's like it's not even magic, right? Like we hit that level. It stopped right there. Now we're coming back. Now we retest the breakout. If we don't hold the breakout, we're coming down here. If we hold the breakout, pop back through. Next extension up, somewhere close to 600, right up in here. Beautiful. So we'll see what happens. Probably, I mean, it depends. Like, since that comes on Thursday after the close, do we get the pullback before then? And if we just start dumping in the market, it's unlikely that Coinbase can just reverse without support from Bitcoin and crypto. So we're seeing Bitcoin being soft. And, well, most crypto related things down with it. So Bitcoin being soft. IBIT. I did sell a 64.50 on this for this Friday. Got lots of room at this point. 64.50 come across. I've gotta hold it. Need it to be above there by Friday. Get full profit. If we drip down through it, I'll take the shares. That's what we're looking at. That's what we're cooking with right there. So Bitcoin still being soft. Right now, we're looking at a potential 5-wave up retrace. We want to see it hold this area right in here. If we can hold that, turn. That's A, B, C. Pretty nice. That high, that low, that high. Oh, yeah. Right in there. Absolutely beautiful correction, proportions. Then we come busting back up through. Once we clear this, kind of confirming that we're going on higher. At that point, that low, that high, this low. That could take us on up. 125. Potential for the next move right there. That big confluence of fib lines up there. So this, if you don't have Bitcoin exposure, could be your opportunity for a next move higher. Now that next move higher, let's just run a roughly 7.5% higher. So even if you were on BitX, looking for like 15% higher, 15% from here. Be like right there. 71. BITU. 15% higher. And that one actually takes it out to a new high. 69. BTCL. Potential 15% higher. I know I'm not doing this exactly right, so be more conservative on your target. Somewhere around 71 on that one. So BitX is the only one seems to be underperforming a little bit on that. Not bad, not bad. Then we get some XOM. Potential for that to turn down. Be careful. Downtrend of highs. Unless we break above. It's grinding this kind of channel, but we keep poking below. Downtrend of highs. Could break down. And then CVX. It's also not looking super spicy here. Rejected the breakouts. That high, that high, that high, that high. Tried to go out. Rejected. Now we're back at it. Can we get through? That resulted in a lower low. So 1, 2, 3 up and rejected. Not clear move up so far off the lows. Be careful. And that's pretty much mostly what we got for earnings. Pop back over, figure out where the chat went. Cool. Awesome. I do not like the way Windows automatically rearranges everything. Cool. Thank you so much for messing everything up. There we go. All right. Let's check out a few other things. And then we'll get to the main event. Requests. Oil. Still chopping in here. Did poke above the roadmap line. So roadmap line didn't provide resistance. First move, second move, third move. Watching for that downtrend to provide the resistance. If we do, probably going to break below this support. Bounced off of it. Bounced off of it. Probably going to find a little bit of resistance right there. Let's check out the A, B, C. Yep. Yeah, right in that. So if we reject right there in the next day or three, probably going to bust down through that support. Alrighty. Brent, same pattern, same. Probably going to find resistance at the 74 price. Right in here and turn back down. Alrighty. Gasolina has a nice uptrend of lows going here. That's very unclear on the price. Like that's a lot of sideways choppy action right there. A lot of three-wave type stuff. 1, 2, 3 up. 1, 2, 3 down. Unclear. That's a bigger 1, 2, 3. That could be part of 1, 2, 3. Not sure. A lot of overlapping. Unclear. This went way deep. It did hold a potential higher low over that. It did not overlap. Could be bullish. 1, 2, 3, 4. Could pop it up here. That'd be interesting. I don't know, like, fundamentally what would cause heating oil / diesel fuel to pop like that. Not sure. Not sure, but holding in here somewhat bullish at the moment. That bounce off the roadmap line. Potentially going to take this higher. It did reject the 618 so far, but if we pop up through that, watch out. This can get up in here. Easily start extending on up in here. $3. How can you play it? This is one of the only great ways that I know. Easy ways. Play crack. Get me some crack. anyway, that 42.90, if this thing's going to lift on out, right there. Natural gas. That looks like we're going to go for a lower low. First move down, retrace, bounced off the 618. We may come back for that target yet. Came up shy of it right there in April. Got the nice bounce in June. And this looks like we're going to come on down for a possibly August, September hit. Silver. Be careful. That got to some extension. Got up past the 1272 and ran out of steam. Can easily come back, retest the breakout, possibly even down to the roadmap line. I was looking for a 33, 34 potential bottom retrace here. I don't know if we'll get that deep. We may stop at 35. Even if it's shallow, 35, 36. That'd be the opportunity to load up for potential next go. Copper. Dang. I think hit the 580 target. Shoot, man. So watch out for this to retrace a little bit before we go for another extension. Could be set up for that bigger picture, $7, $8. And those are lame. Sugar might be turning the bottom. And let's see. Crow coming up pretty nicely. This has a 1, 2. It's like a running ABC with the C part higher than the A part. So let's set up a potential at 19. Retrace and then get the final move up in the 28 to 30 cent area. Alrighty. So it's that time. That's part of that time of the week. I will do some requests. Channel members, unlimited requests. I'll hit all of you before I go to the regular subscribers. It's one per person per request. And then after I get through all the channel members, I'll come back and pick up the subscribers. Remember, due to abuse, I'm going to up it to 3 requests per subscriber. So pick your favorite 3, make your requests. Any more than that, you can become a channel member if you want to. Anyway, that's the rules. Have a great time with it. If you got a question, please use complete sentences. Please use a quick complete ticker. If I can type it in, I'll review it. If I can't type it in, I'll try it twice and move on. So that's the rules, everybody. And my discretion, if we drop below like 50 people on the stream, which we're right at 50, I may end it at any time. So GM, phone a friend. So GM in this zone of ambiguity still. Retraced. Can we pop above this? You know, I've got to actually have that line sitting there. I thought we would need to push above to go bullish. And this line down here, thought we need to push below to go bearish. And we're just kind of sitting there toward the top end of the range, but that doesn't mean we don't pop back down. As long as we're in between, kind of a coin flip. Put a big coin here. Flip the coin. A little bit of a coin flip. I actually have I've got a thing for that coin flip. Next up, CLS. There you go. It's at the target. Watch out. Could go up to 252, but anything more than that, watch out for the retrace. Watch out for the retrace. So we're already at, already up there. Can it go higher? Sure. but more than likely we will come back down, retest the breakout before we're going up there, get some sort of retrace, could hold 165, 252. Yeah, we have plenty of instances where it just rips, so doesn't have to do anything. Just after looking at thousands of charts across time frames and patterns and just common patterns that show up over and over and over and over. They don't always happen, but often enough, I have this expectation of what's going to happen. When it happens, usually I can trade it and make money when it's something I want to get involved in. DG probably coming on back down to the roadmap line, hold support, and then if we do, continue on the path higher. It kind of filled this gap, so a rejection back down to some support level, probably expected. We're working on filling the gap, so may go again and may retrace again before you can push on through. Next level's up for resistance, up here at 134, 135, up here at 147. That's this high, and this high. It's gonna take some work to get through all that. Gotta take some work. Yeah, 5 yen, 5.9. Looks pretty bearish to me. Retail. Unless you just got your crap together. Most retail looks like it's in this bad way. And let's see. Rolling on down. Yeah, I can go one click down, then all the way to the bottom of the chat. Like there's no like in between. It does it like every time. IoT. So we've got this high, we've got this low, we've got that rejection. That sets up for an A, B, and a C, but run that move. We held the 618 here. So this makes it like starts to be a coin flip, right? We moved up, but we also retraced, but now what's next? We run the next fib line. It's kind of like what Tesla's been doing here. Ping-ponging in, and there'll be another 618, then another 618. It starts to look like one of these squeeze things. And then like, which way does it go? Does it pop out or does it pop down? Not my favorite pattern. So watch for resistance at the roadmap line and that 618. Little zone in there. If we turn down again, watch for support at the 618. If we break below it, probably going down here for that A, B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, C, wave down. Absolutely beautiful correction. That target on that, if we were playing out to the bottom. First move down, retrace. Down at 24. Something like that. Now if we break above 48, upside targets 68 to 75. Wide range. That's them's the breaks. AMD going for the break above. Man, this is ridiculous. Watch out. This is not a pattern you can predict. It's making one big rip similar to Microsoft. If we get above that high right there, odds change to potentially going just straight on up here, 266. Right there. I don't know what you tried to type. Poet? WT. Are you a poet and just didn't know it? And probably coming back to the roadmap line after rejecting that high. Had this. It came up shy. Probably gonna do. This could be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that could be a 5 up. It's. This would be the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, and the 5. And then we get a 2 right in that vicinity. Low price stuff, caution. Low price stuff is very difficult to chart properly. Doesn't always follow the patterns at all. Has a reverse split. Garbage. I wouldn't trade it. I wouldn't put my money in this at all. Period. I wouldn't touch it. Be careful. If you don't understand, reverse splits, there's virtually 0 companies. I mean, it's like so small of a chance that a company does a reverse split and then pulls their crap together and goes on to be an awesome company. Usually companies that reverse split are bad at managing stock prices and repeatedly reverse split and end up going in the garbage. And I call them dumpster fires. Because usually, the only difference between this and the classic dumpster fire is the fact that it doesn't have a big downtrend cooking at the moment. We're just kind of chopping. We're just very choppy. And typically when you see one of these dumpster fires, their chart looks like this. And then we reverse split and we pop a little bit, but we're still like messing around way down. And prime example, this dumpster fire. And pop it up. It has the potential to do this right here, lower high. I bought a couple shares because of that potential. So we're talking about from 20 and 30 to 400. But then it's probably coming back down to the bottom again. That's just absolute garbage. You see these reverse splits repeatedly. Even on the daily chart, just down, down, down. A little bit of craziness, but probably still going down. All right. QBTS. That's just hype at this point. It's like meme stock mania. When this bubble pops, watch out. We're already at extension here. Did a first move up, retrace, first move up, retrace, next move up, retrace, next move up, retrace, next move up. So watch for a retrace. Yeah, this is probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Probably do a retrace somewhere in here. So the proportions here. Yep, went a little further than the 618, retraced in here, held the 1. Let's see, first move up compared to, first move, 2, 3, 4, has a little more room to maybe 25. Then we'll probably see something back down like that before we can go up again. More volatility. That's just what you wanted, right? QTS. I just don't feel like that's a giant, so for you traders that look at stuff like this and you're like, I think I'm going to pick the next Google, the next NVIDIA, the next hot whatever. Please be careful. Picking hot stuff is not easy. You can get burned more often than you can hit it big. I mean, I waited till all the way up in here to pick this up, grabbed a piece, and now it's retracing. Be careful. Rocket Lab. FAST, I'm off of, man, that one went ripping right up to the target. Look at that. The entry was all the way back over here. Churned a little bit. Boom. Target there. Target there. Extension there. Didn't even retrace. Just poked out. Retrace here and then just rip right up there. That's pretty wild. Pretty wild for just fasteners. My little brother used to work for Fastenal when they were building the Nissan headquarters in Nashville. Bounced off, broke through, back tested, and take off. So next upside around the 50s. If we're just going to keep ripping, the more exponential this goes. Remember, big pullbacks are what happens. Exponential move, big pullback. It's already shown it's done it a few times, so expect it. Like it does it in the past. A couple examples. It's probably going to do it again somewhere over here. Stock does that. It goes exponential and big pullback. So just a matter of time. If you're long that, might consider where you're going to step off or how you're going to protect it. DVN, grind down lower, probably until we start making higher highs. The trend, lower high or lower low, lower low, probably going to be lower low. UCO, it's an ultra leverage ticker. Be careful. There's no real prediction here. Back up to the top, back up to this consolidation maybe. But it also can make a lower low because it's got a trend of those going here. So watch out below. I'm actually long SCO right now. Look for this to turn around and make a nice little fat pop when oil turns. So watch out. It may pop up in the 20s right there. And Elf Beauty didn't quite hit the daily roadmap line. Switched to 4 hour. Didn't quite hit the 4 hour roadmap line. Switched to the 1 hour. A little deep here, and it's struggling at the 618. Struggling. We get through that, we may pop for another few bucks. 137, 141. Upside resistance there. This could be a A, B, C correction back down in this area, which would put it right near the daily roadmap line, I do believe. Yeah. Maybe a little deeper than the daily roadmap line. It's A, B, C. So watch for that move right there. And that may be setting it up for that may be the correction we need before we do the bigger move. 138, 144. You may see that dip in here. Find supports. And then come on up. And that's next Wednesday, August 6th. See what happens. It may be setting up for a drop on earnings. Find support in that 90, 97 area. Turn higher. That would be my guess, but it could just go popping out. Easy enough. Lunar. Grinding. It's a meat grinder. All right, let's clear this up. Got the high, we got the low. Big resistance hanging right here. We're just kind of stuck in here. We can break above. There's the upside. We're up there about 30. If we reject back below here, Can be an A, B, C. Potential downside. Right now, down at $3. Potential on the low side. And that's no trend. The trend is sideways. Although we keep making lower lows, so more volatility. Yeah. Sideways on that one. Let's see. BM1. Bristol Myers Squibb. Gee, somebody put this big down arrow on here. Wonder why. Watch out. This is a big potential A, B, C. Right back to the lows from 2008. It's not even COVID lows. That's just 2008 lows. This is a big sideways. Like, we haven't really gone anywhere in 25 years. Like, that was a huge uptrend. Yeah, until we hit the top and then hit the top again. Watch out. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. I don't think it's the perfect opportunity. Shiny is a leverage ticker. 3x leverage. There's no, like, what do you want to chart? I mean, it's just golden 3x leverage ETN. It's micro sector mod. I mean, it's probably going to pull back. Just a matter of when, right? It's a weekly chart. They don't follow the patterns, so leverage stuff, caution. Moving on, BA. Watch for this to retrace back down. Could even come all the way down here. I've been waiting for this thing to do another retrace. This was the lowest low. One big move up. Potential 5 in here. Careful. You can come back down into the 92 area, or even, you know, the 618 retrace all the way back down to 162. If it did that, it does set up the bigger potential, the 400. That bounce proportion. Been here and then retrace and then push on out to the 600 area I've been talking about for 2 years. Beautiful potential. We're coming up in the vicinity of where we topped out before. When I said the doors were going to fall off. I didn't say the doors were going to fall off. I said we were going to get a big correction. And then we did. Dang, excuse me. I knew that was coming. So, first move up in the vicinity of the prior top. Classic. We may get just a little higher. Could come up just a little bit more. Usually we top out somewhere in this vicinity. We're in the zone. Then we get a big retrace. And then we set up that next move. So watch out. Watch out for the retrace. They had growing earnings today. Everything looking positive. But as you can see, that quickly turned into a big red candle. Will not surprise me one bit to retrace back down in here. Yum. Is not going anywhere. That's just sitting. Rejected. And got the 618 retrace, which is probably right there. Yeah, it's just been grinding. Didn't break through. Didn't trigger along. Third move down, put it probably back down to 141. A, B, C. Then what happens? Do we come up? Can we get through? Or do we reject again and actually go lower? Or do we just break down here? Yeah, I don't know if I doubt your 150 anything is gonna work out on that one. We'll see. Maybe. I mean, looks like we're just stuck in neutral here. Might even come down a little bit. Come back up a little bit. Come back down a little bit. Yeah, I don't see any big plan there. At the moment, it's just churning. I mean, it really is. And you're saying AP, so I assume Apollo, and 30 minutes. So you would have picked this up back here. I don't see where you would have picked it up. Maybe right there. It's on a downtrend, so I would have been a little cautious on that. Watching it bounce off of 618 and then going again, bounce off 618. This is one where it's a tool and it's not a blind tool. Like if you don't check it, you can get yourself in trouble. So these, if you're on Apollo, 30-minute time frame, 45 candles is the average. So kicked off back here, 45 candles on average. And then 30-minute or 45 is the standard deviation. So 3 standard deviations, 150 candles. So that should play out win or loss by right there. And that's getting really close to $1 below the low. It didn't already hit that. It's this bigger daily pattern, just it's choppy. It's not done any kind of trend. Yeah. Oil is natural gas. I already went over natural gas. And DGX. Sitting on the roadmap line again. Quest Diagnostics. We talked about this one. Probably gonna might retrace back to the roadmap line, hold, and then turn higher again. And so asking me about 30-minute time frames is not usually the goal of this. 30 minutes of awesome. 30 minutes of awesome is daily charts typically, and you have Discord, so you can ask me. I know you're a VIP member, so you can ask me anytime you want about any chart. 3-wave retrace, hold a higher low. That's possible. That's first move up, retrace. And I don't know where the Apollo alert fired off, but we can find out. Which one did you take? I don't see one. Last one's kicked off back here. Let's see. This is the algorithm that's responsible for the alerts, so let me see. I can dig in. We can take a look and see what's up. Mark is red. DGX. I see a daily setup for that, but I don't see a... That's all daily setups. Let's see. AP trade. That I don't see an alert for that. If it was the daily, when you're saying AP, that's not Apollo. The daily chart setups are daily chart setups. If you took the daily chart setup, you should have bought 6 months at a time, because these take, on average, 155 candles to work out. On 99% of them take, to get 99% coverage, you need 155 bars. So statistically, the play would have been out to like March to have enough time. If you took that daily trade, it's not an Apollo trade. It's the Apollo algorithm, but it's running on a daily chart. It's a daily setup. Daily setups, 45 bars on average. So just buying August was way too little time. Nine, 45 is the average. Ah, my mouse jumped. 45 on average, plus 1 standard deviation, plus 2 standard deviations, plus 3 standard deviations, gets you to 99% of the time. You won't run out of time. Now here, cover there, you're like 68%. That gets you to 95%, and then 99%. That's just based on a standard bell curve. 1 standard deviation, here's the average. 1 standard, 2 standard, and 3 standard. So 45 plus 35, 35, 35. I round off just a little bit. It's not perfectly those numbers. 45 plus 35 plus 35 plus 35. 150. I had just a little bit more because I'm actually rounding down slightly. 155. That's why it's 220 days. That gets you 99% of the time. 99% coverage right there. It's actually a market roadmap setup, not Apollo setup. Apollo technically runs on a 30-minute chart. I use the same algorithm for everything. I did create a new one though. It's a new version. All right. Yeah, I didn't get any nice. It's on the potentially bullish setup. I would have sold a put. Looking for that and put sell again before it goes bullish. That one also not. Yeah, retreated. Potentially going to fire off, but this also on the daily chart, you got to have 155 candles if you don't want to run time. Hopefully you understand that for the pattern. So even if it's 30-minute time frame, 155 candles. 1 minute time frame, 155 candles. Weekly time, 155 candles. That used to be like 3 years. So weekly patterns can play out over 3 years. Alrighty, moving on. BTBT. Right back down to the roadmap line. Gotta understand the statistics of what you're working with. Holding resistance right there. If we clear it, $5 target area right up here. Then we'll see what happens. That's right up in the prior resistance. We can break through it. There's potential, maybe not high potential, but potential. We can get above this. We could go popping up here irrationally. 17, 18, 20 bucks. 30 would be like, hallelujah, Hail Mary. So be careful. And GEHC, GE Healthcare. There's one that's not been performing after their split. So they split these GE companies up. This one's not exactly been the most bullish. Got a pretty solid resistance going here at 95. And the floor down here around 56. That's 3 up. Ambiguous down. Might do a 3 down to a lower low, would be my guess. That high, that low, this move. If we stall out somewhere in here, watch for that drop right there. Precipitous drop. That'd be what I expect on that one. All the other ones, GE Veranova, pretty good. GE period, pretty good. But GE Healthcare, not so good. No bueno. Anyway, not looking too hot. IONQ, stalling out here. We have the potential to go up to 62, but also potential to rip it back down to a lower low. Which way does she go? First move down, retrace, second move down. Or can we stick the pop and go on up to 62? So both those potentials are hanging out here. If we break down below the roadmap line, watch out for the bigger retrace. It looks like we're set for this. That's why I have the target on there. But that's the downside potential. If we can't hold it together. Inon. So there's the high, there's the low, there's the retrace. Potential A, B, C. Be quite that severe, be more like this at that point, if we're going to get that breakdown below roadmap line. So key support right here, resistance right now. If we can get that continuation, see this has got, it's a head and shoulders pattern basically. It plays out down here. So if we can reject the head and shoulders, it'd be great. Ooh. Looks pretty nasty. I could go deeper. So what a friend of mine calls the crown pattern also. Gotta be careful on those. FRM firm. Supports and target 95. It did all the things I would expect it to do to go up. It just might retrace a little bit before we do that. Now, a perfect example of the pattern, even on a high probability one, This came all the way down to the stop out. I chose to stay in. Now we may rip it right back up here. WC, another one. Just grinding here, not hit the target yet. Kicked off the entry back here. There's the, we took a big diversion. Right there. So you get play options on these 6 months plus. Otherwise, they're share holds. And then PGR is another one that's just messing around. I've kept holding into this one. So it looks like this is part of a bigger ABC. And we're potentially bottoming out right here. That'd be the resistance. So despite that dollar below the low stop out potential, just holding on my shares. So it is still higher low than back here. And this looks like we're doing that ABC potential down to 234 potentially. First move down, retrace. Next move down. There's the support. Turn and burn. I don't have leverage on it. Just have a couple shares. I can sit on those for a while. It's not big money. The stuff I'm more bullish on, as I've gone over a few times lately. This list right here. Specifically ones I've talked about profit targets. Now, there's ones on here I've been hyped up on, like Delta, that I now expect to retrace once again. We potentially finish this 5 up. Which now presents the opportunity for it to retrace back down in this area right here before we make the next big move up. Not knowing where you are in the process can be detrimental to your long-term success. Guess grinding through the roadmap line. It's got upside resistance up here where we consolidated at 20. You could potentially get in now, get out at 20, get back in on the retrace, ride it back out, 42, get back out. Of course, maybe it just does like American, what is it, ANF, Abercrombie & Fitch, and just does this, and then does that. We did this big move up, big retrace, first move up, retrace. That was the only real pullback we got until we were all the way up here. Did the final blow off. Now we're doing a retrace. So guess might be trying to catch up. Other ones, UAL probably looks like it may have finished that first move up. Where we hit extensions. So there's the low, here's the potential high. That next retrace would be somewhere down here. I'm waiting for that to happen. Now it may not, like we may just keep on going up here before we do it. It's okay. I'll wait till we get another pullback. Like CMG. That one obviously wasn't the bottom. We just made a lower low. Has potential to come on down a little bit. Sit and wait. And that immediately proved that was not that low over here was not the low, because now we have a lower low today. Now I have to wait for something to show up. Didn't hold. Not bailing, just waiting. Chewy. Basically met the minimum price action for an ABC. I thought we might hold up here. We didn't. We came on down. So now this is looking like A with a gap in here, B, and a C right in here. Gotta wait for that to turn and burn. MU very well may come tap on the daily roadmap line before we turn higher again. We're holding that 618 pretty well. Where we topped out all these times back here. That's actually a good sign that we broke out of that. Back testing it. If we start up through 122, probably gonna rip on out to the target. There you go. All right, back to request. Lily. There's reasons my list is relatively small for the bullish list. I will just add one on there. Looks like we're in a consolidation here. Got a couple higher lows, some lower highs. We're just in kind of a sideways holding pattern. Got lower highs coming down. Got two higher lows coming up so far. We're just stuck in this zone. GLP-1 drugs may be played out for now. It started way back here. Now we'll see what happens. Let's see. Yeah, DGX was daily. And let's see. Let's see if that actually was. Stop doing that. Circle back and hit you on. I don't have a 30-minute kickoff either. Let's see if the alert fired off. I'll search for it. Where the alert fired off. And Yum was also a daily trade. $6.25. And that fired off in Discord, and that would have been off of this pullback back here. And we came up just shy of the target right there. That would have been close enough for me. It didn't take the exit, and it may keep going. I don't have another one. I've only got it on the daily list. So it fired off on the daily list June 25th. So that would have been a daily list play. June 25th, right there. Still play out. So we're still looking at time frame wise. That would be the high. That would be the low. That would be the entry. It didn't trigger this bot because of price action or this algorithm. 155 would still put you out to February. It already got near, but retraced. That one stopped out right there. So, two back-to-back stop outs. It's been a little bit choppy. All right. circling back around, pick up some channel members. I got everybody on the channel members list. Pick up the subscribers if you're still here. We're down to 30 people. Guess everybody gave up, went home. SCHW. Yep. Beautiful dreamer. There's the high, here's the low. ABC. In case you're thinking this ABC correction thing is crap. Look at that. That's the A, that's the B, that's the C, right down in that zone. Turned it. There's the entry. That was the target. That's the extension target. And that's the super aggressive target. Anything else left in the tank? Maybe 100. Probably gonna get a retrace. This is not a stock known for giant extensions without large retraces. And we're in a zone to retrace. Watch out. Watch out, watch out, watch out. Look at the bigger picture weekly chart. And 106, 108. Might be what we're gunning for. Big A, B, C correction back here. Perfect proportions yet again. So yeah, the bigger weekly chart that kicked off right here. Three-year potential to play out up here. So the average on this would be 45 candles, which we're already past the average. But it could take all the way out to 2027 to play out. Looks like it's going to play out here in the next couple weeks. We're out there around 100. Now, it also didn't fire off the algorithm here. Didn't move fast enough, so it may or may not play out. Oh, wait, there we go. Yeah, stop that one out. Got that one in on a smaller bounce. There she is. It's on the monthly chart. Monthly tag. Here's the high. Here's the low. Yeah, looking at for that 105, 106. Actually, should have fired off back here, but it didn't. Didn't have enough candles. There's a minimum and a maximum number of candles. It didn't have the minimum until it was right there. That potentially was the entry. Alrighty. Moving on. Walmart's. That's cool. What that was. So Walmart pulled back and just been grinding in here. It kind of went into a sideways. As I said, retail is not doing so hot. Got a pretty good resistance going here. If we can get above that, probably coming on up to 110. If it failed down below 92, probably gonna make a lower low than this right here. That's kind of your parameters. long as we stay in between. We get above, coming on up here. We get below, coming down here. Bigger risk, smaller reward. Getting below that roadmap line would be the red flag. Race. Yeah, did that giant pullback in April and fired off 1, 2, 3. So it did this, that high, that low, fired off that entry, took that exit. Pretty beautiful right there. The 510. Look at the bigger retrace back here. 530 might be where we find resistance. And then 548. Right now we've got the first move up, the retrace, and potential to go on up even higher to ridiculous numbers up here. Up in that number up there, but it'll probably do some bouncing because it tends to bounce a lot. Something like that. Maybe. Not predicting time-wise, just size-wise. IVZ. And that's a lot of sideways chop. Let's turn this off. So we've made an initial move up. We made a retrace. We've held that 618. Potential for this to pop on out. Resistance hanging out. Oh, we're just clearing resistance. Beautiful. So there's your potential next resistance target area right here. Watch for that to consolidate a little bit. Potentially, and then push on up higher to this zone. Somewhere up in that neighborhood right there. ECO. Eco Lab. Did a look at that beautiful hit. Retrace the breakouts. Push up to the 1272 and right down to the roadmap line. And it hit back here and lower low. Ping ponging around. So now we have that high, that low. If we can turn back higher, get back above that, there's your upside. And supports is right here. And if we get below it, somewhere down in here. Right now, that doesn't, not a lot of clarity on what might be the downside, but first move down, retrace. Yeah, we're at a support zone, but that doesn't mean it has to hold. So I'd watch. I'd be careful. Like if that's that hit proportions, that'd be a 3. If we hold below that low right there from that initial drop, do a 5, and then we do a 3, and then we could do something much deeper. This would be. So the next moves would be something like this. Something like this. And then pull that over there. Retrace like this. Another drop like that. That could be what it's up for right now. Be careful. On ECO. Spotify, back to the roadmap line. We almost got there today. want to see this come all the way down in here. McDonald's already touched on. Ford, we already touched on. It's bearish to the roadmap line. Yeah. Got this box here with these this prior high, this prior low. That's resistance. If we can get through it, we got the bigger upside potential. This has massive upside potential. Talking about like this kind of target, but it's got that small time frame resistance that we got to get through all that stuff before we can go up here. So starts building on the low time frames here. We got to get through the 100 area at the top of this box. That was support here, resistance here, now resistance. We turn down off of it here, gap down. Now we're back to it. So watch out, may retrace before we can push higher. Tapestry. 118, next upside. TSLA. At the target, 262 above that, and support down at 198. BMO. Support down here at 142, and resistance 159, 171. Goldman Sachs. Yeah, on up to the target, 757. ADBE. Probably going lower low. Didn't even touch the roadmap line. Pushing the limits here, probably going down here. I've had this target on here for a while, and it's not just from this move, it's from this bigger move here. And it actually potentially in a correction that's could go deeper. We could push on down to there. First move down, retrace. Last move down. First move, retrace. Yeah. See, look at this right here. This is where this all come from. So A wave down, B wave retrace. Then this is a 1, 2. Probably have that move down with a 3. That move finishes up 1, 2, 3 right there. Come back up here, and then the final move here should be, yep. So this move like this, the retrace takes us back up to here once again, and then that right there, the final move puts us from here, equality with the first move, roughly right where that bubble is. So that might be what we got in store for Adobe for the next year or so. Oracle. Yeah, next target up. 270. CMG. Already talked about this. Made a lower low. Next support down 42. AVGO. Resistance. We're at the resistance. Watch for a turn down. Retest the breakouts. Support there and support here, and these things may come together out here September, October. So we may see some softness before this eventually gets down over here later in the fall. It could go fast, but be careful. And I think I already did IBM. Back to the roadmap line. Here's the high. Here's the low. Could it go lower? Absolutely. Always can go lower. Left a gap, so gap resistance. We may pop up in that zone and then get another move down. Cautious. 302, 308 upside targets, and downside somewhere around 236. Let's put a little more tighter number on it, maybe. Yeah, 230, 225, 230. Yeah, get that pretty close. My calibrated fib line eyeballs. And are you seeing BA stock crashed a little? I hope. Well, Philip, if you're still around, back here in December, Sledge can attest to this. I was like, BA's about to take a big bath, and then a couple weeks later, the door fell off a plane, and bad news since. And then we bottomed out, and we bottomed even further. Now we're finally working on reversal. We're probably going to take this correction back down before we go higher again. SWBI. Just hunting the bottom. Actually made a lower low, so reset the count again. All this comes over here, and we hunt for the bottom in place again. We're looking for support. Might come down to 6 on SWBI. Oxy. Resistance at the roadmap line. And lower low potential till we get above it. And more. Already covered that. Support at the roadmap line. Resistance at 20. And RGTI. Support at the roadmap line. That's 3 up. Potential for that to be A, B, and we get a move down here. Watch that support. And that's the target if we just break out 2470. Alrighty. Yeah, there's Sledge. You're going to test to the BA thing, Sledge. And CoreWeave is complete garbage, probably going down. So check this out. CRWV. How long have I been talking about this? Topped out right here, probably since we did it. And we're probably coming back down with this. Classic bubble pattern price action. We hype things up, tend to chop a little bit, and then come back down. Probably coming back down, and may or may not go lower low. I'm not sure yet. Coming back, and we can find support at this fib level 95, this fib level 76, this fib level 70, this fib level, or this breakout point 65, or we can take it all the way down and make a lower low. And this could play out for a few years with further bounces. What goes up crazy usually comes back down. Hype's probably over for now. It's probably just going to be a slow bleed. Maybe a little bounce, but that'd be what I expect to happen. CoreWeave. All right. Yeah, 30 people left. Thanks for hanging out. Be back again 9:15 tomorrow morning. Hunt for movers of the day. FOMC day. Should be spicy, fun. We'll see.